Okay. Hopefully this works for everybody. For some reason, I'm so much more comfortable doing lives from my phone anyway. So
if you're just joining us, we have our masterclass. We're getting started with some technical errors with Zoom and everything, but we're working through them. Nate Brott's going to be joining us in just a minute. We're going to have a really fun discussion with him today. So we're just waiting for Nate to get on. Thanks again if you're still here with us. Okay, Nate's here. How do we invite him now? There we go. All right. Should have him on there in just a minute. He's just trying to. It's gonna.
Hey.
You made it. Yay. Hey there, Nate.
Okay, let me.
Can you hear us okay? Let's see. It's paused on his end, but we're still live, I think. Everyone can see us okay. Comment if you can hear us. I think for some reason Nate is still frozen, at least on our end.
oh yeah.
Okay, hopefully Nate will get back on. Here we go. Third time's a charm, guys.
While we're waiting for him to jump on, if anybody watching on here wants to comment what industry they're in, I think that would be super helpful because it would probably give us some ideas on how to share maybe ways you can apply this membership model that Nate is doing to your business as well.
Okay, I think we're adding Nate on here again. For some reason, it doesn't want to add him on.
Hey, Nate, if you're there, something's up with your camera.
It's telling us we can't bring you on, Nate. Yes, please comment your industry. We'd love to talk about everyone who's here as much as we can. And any questions that you may have from the beginning here. Let's try it from here. Okay, here we go. I'm hoping this is gonna work. Everyone cross their fingers. Yay! Say something, Nate. I want to make sure we can hear you. Oh wait, I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. All right.
Okay. Wow.
We're not frozen.
Ninth time to charm, huh?
Hey, that's right. Okay, so we're gonna jump it right in because we've already lost some time here, and we want to take as much as we can from Nate, as long as we have him. So Nate is owner of Integrity Cleaning. What year did you start it, Nate?
2016, I think. Maybe 2015.
So 4 years.
Yep.
4 to 5 years, somewhere around then. But he has figured out the big puzzle that so many service business owners in particular try to figure out is how do you create that recurring revenue in your business so that even when you aren't doing any work, you're making money off your clients and your customers just by them signing up for a membership model. And so we're really excited to talk to him today. Every time I talk to Nate, he's a Jill's Office user. We love him. And he used us. Then he stopped because his wife was like, I got the phones. And then he came back to us. There was something funny that happened. I can't remember what it was. But we're like,
that's right.
Anyway, she was done.
I think we should talk really quick about what your business is, Nate. So you have a carpet cleaning company, right? And you're in Vancouver, Washington, which is a beautiful place, by the way, because I love Washington and Portland area specifically in Oregon too. So we have Teddy on here. Hi, Teddy. Teddy is a locksmith. That's cool. And then also Matt. Matt is window cleaning. So what I was saying earlier is if they wanted to kind of chime in into what their industries were, I don't know if you have ideas or even suggestions, because I know there's always like new ideas out there and how maybe you can apply a membership model to just different things, or maybe ways that you got your mind just turning into how this could work for your specific type of business. So I wanted to just throw that out really quick because I know like Teddy has to jump off in a little bit, but
yeah, sorry Teddy about the delay, but we'll send you the recording if you miss any of this. But maybe Nate, let's just start by talking about how did you get started with this business? and just kind of your story of how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. So I originally liked the idea of a service business because I did this, in high school for janitorial and then ended up doing some other stuff. But I liked the recurring type service, and I assumed naturally that carpet would be the same, and it wasn't. It's once every 3 years, once every 6 months, not once a day like janitorial or once a week. So I was trying to figure out how to make the most, money possible while, being like a good human being. And what I found out was that there were some scary statistics on customer repeat rate for home service and how low that number was. I think it was like under 20% in a 3-year time period for a repeat customer to basically to come back. And then I looked at how much I was spending in advertising, and I thought, well, man, if it costs me $60 to acquire a customer through, pay-per-click ads, and then I'm only keeping 20% of them, well, then it's 5 times 60 is your true customer acquisition cost, which seems insane. So what I figured out is I thought we got to find a way to charge people monthly so that they're sticky to you, and so that they have emotional buy-in to it. Mm-hmm. And so our first version was in theory good. It was, hey, we're here to clean your carpets. Let's divide this into 6 monthly payments, and we'll show up every 6 months and clean it. That's what a lot of guys do. That worked out terrible because you might do their whole house, and then a week goes by and they spill spaghetti on the floor. And then you kind of wonder, like, well, do I take that out of their like monthly budget and then like start it over, or like, how do I do that? So many versions down the line, we figured out that the best plan is to charge, for us, not necessarily the best, but is to charge $10 a month for half off service. So basically, for that $10 monthly plan, they can have us out there as little or as much as we want, or as they want, just for $10 a month. So that way it's totally up to them if they want their whole house done, a couple of rooms. But that $10 a month is enough of a buy-in where they're not looking around, because if they use us once, sign up for it, 6 months goes by, well, they're already financially invested into us, so they don't look anywhere else, and that's dramatically increased our customer repeat rate.
So, okay, we have to like break this down because a million golden nuggets just in what you just told us right here. Number one, it almost is like this, like, I don't know, like Costco almost type model that you're paying, well, for them it's yearly, but in your case, a monthly fee to get a discount off a service that you know you're going to need. But so number one, that's a smart way just to get that monthly revenue, is because people love feeling like they're getting a discount. And if the discount's good enough, people are willing to pay for that. We love sales. We love discounts just as humans. So, and we're willing to pay for them, especially if we can see the value in it. But then number two, you're guaranteeing that they're going to do business with you. So they're paying you to guarantee they're going to choose you. Like, when you break that down, it's such smart business. But I get it as a consumer is, number one, you're going to get me 50% off all your services, and all I have to pay is $10 a month. And I want my carpets cleaned, and I don't want to feel guilty when I need my carpets cleaned because I'm getting a good discount and it's only $10. It's not going to hurt. Like, genius. But then of course I've been paying that $10, so of course I'm going to go with you because I'm getting a discount.
Exactly.
So they're
not looking around.
What have you seen in like your retention? Because you say normally it's 20%, but now doing it that way, what kind of numbers are you seeing?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people moving in and out of our area. So the real estate turns that our customers that might be leaving, might be just getting here, is a big portion of the area's business for home service companies. But we saw, I think it was almost exactly 50%. It was like 46% of our customers 2 months ago were members. And then on top of that, if you accounted for our property managers that used us, and our regular customers that aren't members that do use us maybe less frequently, we had a month where we were over 85% customer repeat rate, which was the best ever. But then it put into perspective, we did a pretty darn good revenue month, and we didn't even spend 1% of revenue on advertising. And that's what really changed the game for me, because people talk about getting you know, putting $1 in, getting $3 out for ad spend, but we were basically, that made us put $1 in and get 100 back, you know.
Wow.
The big thing for me though, that everyone is going to comment, and I want to kind of hit that right in the nose first, is they're going to say, I can't afford to give people half off for $10 a month, or I don't want to give half off. Yeah. So a couple things, you know, if you're priced like everybody else, this plan is not going to work for you, because half off is a pretty big discount. You know, it might work, but it's not going to work that well. Rather than in our industry where there's add-ons for deodorizer, pet treatment, stain removal, deep scrubbing, whatever, we're flat rate. So if that carpet is perfectly clean or it is just thrashed because a gorilla lived there for a month, it's the same price. So that automatically allows us to go a lot higher than everyone else, because we can say, hey, we're actually flat rate. There's no add-ons, you know, so we are more expensive for that. And in fact, you know, obviously people love us because we're flat rate, but if you look at advertised prices, I mean, our membership is more expensive than your average regular price of someone else. Not really, because there's no add-ons, but for someone that doesn't know that, it would look like the membership's too expensive. The second part to that is because people are paying monthly and they're getting a discount, what happens when you go to Costco and you pay $120 a year? You want to make it worth it. You buy more things from Costco. So right now when people were going to get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, they sign up for the membership. The next time they say, well, I'm getting half off. You might as well just do the whole house. So in a lot of cases, our average ticket for someone getting half off is actually higher than someone paying full price, because they're getting more done. In the home service world, that windshield time, that's what costs you, is driving to and from, setting up, tearing down. It's not the cost in the house.
Interesting.
That's kind of the big thing. Yeah.
And so, yeah. Now, before you set up this, correct me if I'm wrong, but you raise your prices before you even set up this monthly membership plan. Is that correct? Or did you do them at the same time?
We doubled them twice in a row within 6 months, and then we started the membership.
And yeah. what got you to double it, and what happened? What's the story with just that part of
it? Well, early on, you know, in business, we actually, I was just talking to another cleaner about this, but worked my tail off, charging a little less than everyone else was. And, you know, we did like first or second year, we did like 150,000 in revenue, and we kept less than 30,000 of it as a one-man show. So we were just honest with our customers and said, hey, I can't work 12 hours a day for, you know, $28,000 a year. It's not going to work. We had to raise our prices, and some people understood that. Some people didn't care. So we doubled them, and then we doubled them again. So, you know, where you see people advertise the 3 rooms for $99, we're 3 rooms for $300. And again, we're flat rate. So there are instances where if the carpet was very dirty, someone, you know, charging 3 rooms for $100 might actually make more on that job than we would have. But it's pretty hard to do a basic cleaning for $100 and then give someone half off for that, and it's $50. That doesn't really pay the bills very well.
So did you have to like do a lot of education to your clients to let them know, hey, we're not adding add-ins? Or did you just have to go towards a higher end clientele? Or how, when you raise your prices, what happened with your customer base?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's the higher end clientele. We do some nice houses and some, you know, quote unquote rich people, but our average person is exactly that. Fits right in the middle of household style and everything. But I think it's more of an importance difference. You know, for example, I can't tell you how many times we can drive up to an apartment, and it's a studio apartment with a family living in there, and they've got a $70,000 BMW there, right? The value that they thought it was more worth it to have the BMW than the nice house. Maybe they drive for work and they're never home. I don't know. But I think what we focused on is people who cared about their home, not necessarily, you know, the income or the house size, because maybe someone with a large house, they've got multiple and they're never there. So they don't care that much because their carpets don't get dirty and they're, you know, they don't need to clean them very often. I think we just focused on people that have a very specific thing that they care about.
And when you say you focus on it, and is it like with your marketing? I mean, how do you find those people?
It's
Or
a good
just
question. You got to
referrals?
weed them out.
Just weeding out. So the
Referrals,
ones who aren't
yes.
willing to pay,
Yeah,
they're not your client.
yeah, and sometimes it's an education problem. Like one thing that I learned from another guy actually was, who also went flat rate, was that when people said, hey, that's really expensive, I can't afford that. They say, hey, no problem. I just want to make sure you understand, we are flat rate, and I'm not telling you that to go to us, but when you call around and you're getting these prices, ask them if there's anything that could raise the price. If they hesitate and they're like, well, yeah, if it's stinky, or we charge if it's extra stain or stain guard, then that might give you an indication. And a lot of those people will call back because they thought, hey, we were too expensive. But then they realize, you know what? When I see a coupon in the mail, is that ever the price I pay once the service is done and they've left? No. And, as far as narrowing down the people that we do love, if we find the perfect customer and they're just great, we actually have a rating system in-house called Pro, A, B, or C, right? An A customer is we love them and they love us, and their carpets are in good shape. They can have stains, but they're in good shape, right? That's an A. A B is one or the other. Either we love them and they love us and their carpets are thrashed, or their carpets are perfect and maybe we didn't get to talk to them, or they were less than cordial. And then a C is they don't like us, their carpets are trashed, we don't like them. That's it. We only ever remarket to the A's. The A's are the only ones that can get the discount for the membership on the first clean. And the B's can sign up for the membership as a maintenance plan after the first clean. So that really helps us target exactly who we want. And it lets us pick, our techs that are out today. The simple question is, do you want to be here again? If you want to show up at this house again, then offer them a membership. If you don't tell them about it, because they're not someone you want to clean for again,
Right. And that's actually an amazing, it's an amazing way to run a business, because I think a lot of business owners, you go into business, as many customers as I can get, as much money as I can make, let me go after it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying you're shopping for the customer as much as they're shopping for you. Like, you're vetting them to say, do I want to keep doing business with you? Just like they're vetting you. And that's really interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we do find a customer that go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, keep going.
Well, say if we find a customer that we love, people are like their friends are like them. So I'll just say, hey, I gotta be honest, this might sound weird, but you are perfect for us. We want to continue to work with you. We'll give them a $50 gift card, and we'll give them 5 other $50 gift cards, and we'll say, can you give these gift cards to the friends that are just like you? Because that's the kind of people we want to serve. And they laugh and have a good time, and then they give it to their friends, and sometimes they call us and we get an exact copy of the perfect customer we want to deal with,
Very smart. So you'll do that. So any of the A's, you have your technicians will have their gift cards, and they just give it to them and then say, hey, spread it to your friends. But if they're a B or C, you kind of wait to see if they can move up to A.
Correct. Yeah. And it's not to say we don't want to work with the C. It just means if we see someone that's a C, maybe, they don't like us, we don't love them maybe, and their carpets are dirty, it's an opportunity for education. So we think, okay, how can we convert them to an A? One, maybe they had a bad day when we were there. Maybe they don't have a lot of friends, or their job is stressful. Okay, so that means, well, if they're down in the stairs in the kitchen, well, let's clean the living room first so we get to have a conversation with them and get to know them better. Maybe there's going to be a lot of permanent stains because their carpets were thrashed, and that is an education point where we can say, hey, these carpets can last another decade if we're here just a little bit more often. All the C is just a little more work for us, because now we're trying to convert them up to the scale, because it will make their life better just as much as it will make our life better.
So Matt Garcia asked how many crews you have.
So we have 2 trucks one is almost full-time and the other one is full-time, and 2 guys. And then we got 2 other guys that just help us on bigger projects, but every week just 2, and occasionally myself now.
And how do you train your employees to do what you just said? To kind of is it just through shadowing stuff to kind of pick it up of this is what we're trying
Oh,
to.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I want to know.
So I'll tell you a secret that's going to make all the carpet cleaners cringe. My last employee, or 2 employees ago that I hired, the other one, this is his 3rd day, and he's ready to be on his own. But the first employee, that's the main guy right now, we did 1 day of training, and then he was on the truck by himself, and he has been ever since, and it was no problem. Sounds a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
No, we had a infographic made for everything that they need to do. We pre-mix all of our chemistry, so it's exactly the same for every house. And this little checklist shows you exactly everything that needs to be done and how it needs to be done, including visual aids for the actual materials, the actual stuff, and how to rate the customer in House Call Pro. And the one rule we have outside of that is they have the ability to make any of their own decisions that they want, whether if there's an issue and the job's free, whether we pay them and they're not happy and they don't pay, or whether we're doing something extra or something, whatever the case is, they can do anything they want. And if they solve the problem, I don't need to know about it. If they have a question about if they could have solved it differently, then absolutely get me involved and we'll talk it out, but there's no wrong answers. So they basically what they do is they treat this as if it's their own business because they want to take care of someone. In fact, I found out yesterday that we had an issue with a gal with a wood floor. It looks like we spilled something. I didn't even get the whole story. But he went off on his day off to go take care of him because he gave her his personal cell phone number in case there was an issue. And he went off the clock to take care of that issue. And, you know, I'd love it if you just clock in and, you know, do it on the clock. But the point was he took care of it because he knew that he had the ability to do it.
So you systematize your training and like make sure that everything gets done the same way every time, every tech. But then you also made them like so they take ownership over the job. That's
exactly
secret sauce. That's the biggest key to getting you know employees engaged and employee loyalty, really, because people they want guidance, obviously, but they also want the freedom to make their own decisions. And I think that also leads to a lot of trust, which I think is the hugest thing.
Do you give like employee perks based off good reviews or just their, like, is it just, I mean, what keeps them motivated to keep taking ownership? Just
so they've got
the psychological
very high hourly. Psychological, they've got very, very high hourly, more than anyone that I know that pays carpet techs. And we do give them bonuses sometimes when they sell memberships. Their tips are very good because they get that ownership ability. There are days where a single tech will make over $100 in tips from just 2 or 3 jobs. And then also we buy them lunch sometimes. We have, whenever we do a big commercial account, they get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes a massage gift certificate afterwards. And I don't want to train people that last 6 months, so they're happy a long time, or I'm not doing my job right.
Now, this is a total tangent, and I know not everyone watching might use House Call Pro, but for those that are, do you just use tags, or what do you do in House Call Pro to rate them? So
we do tags in House Call Pro, and I thought I had that sheet on me, but I think he took it in the van. But we do. I can actually post it if you guys want. It's a PDF, but we do tags for the job and the customer because a lot of times someone will move and maybe the new house was disgusting that they just bought, and so that was a C or a B job, but the customer is an A. You know, so we do that, and that obviously gives us the chance to change and update that customer to basically a kick up if it can be. So we just use an A, B, or C in the job and the customer tags individually.
Okay. So I want to summarize here for a minute, and then I want to ask one other thing before we're out of time. But so anyone that might have joined us late, basically, in summary, Nate has created this recurring monthly membership model by, number one, you know, raising his prices high enough that he can offer discounts, and then number two, offering a 50% discount to anyone that pays $10 a month to join the what do you call it? Do you have a name for it?
We call it the Clean Club.
The Clean Club. Oh, I like
and
that.
Actually,
they join the Clean Club.
So I'll tell you what we've been doing. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going, and then I'll tell you afterwards.
Well, but I mean, I feel like that would really translate into any service industry, really, even industries out of the service industry, because everyone wants discounts, and most people are willing to pay for those discounts.
Yes.
So that model that you've created really can translate. But
I think, well, in the service industry too, there's so many services that you would love to use more often, but maybe think it's not affordable, or you can't do it, or it's just not, in the forefront of your mind. And so a membership model it's just great, because I'm like, I would love to get my carpets cleaned every single month.
Well, and I can even, I'm always about relationships, so, like, thinking about that. So I'm thinking about, like, a relationship. Oftentimes it's like one spouse that wants to get it done, but the other one's like, no, we don't need to pay for it. I can see that being a good bargaining tip to the spouse who wants to get done. Well, hey, look, we get a discount if we sign up for it. So she gets him or he to sign up for it. And then, well, we're paying for this, we might as well use it. So again, that kind of helps them be able to sell your service if they've got one spouse that's not signed up for it because they're already paying for it.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. There's definitely spousal involvement in that decision. One thing that we're going to kind of toy with a little bit. So anyone who's not a member, we mail them an invitation to join our open enrollment for our membership. Like every other month, like all the time, we mail them.
That was my next question.
And
how to get people to sign up. So perfect.
Yeah. So sometimes, when we're there, we do it. We get a few more, every time we mail our customers. But we're trying something different. So our website's being tweaked a little bit. We're going to remove all membership hint of it. So if someone goes to our website the first time, they cannot see it. And I had another friend of mine who's a bit of a wordsmith change my letter completely. So it sounds like a secret exclusive society that you have to be invited to that doesn't exist. And we phrase it so that when people book online, it says something like, when you see that price that says $500, you just need to know it's only going to be $250. And by the way, we only offer this to people we love, and we love you, and it goes into this big thing where it's like a secret exclusive society. And, I don't know when we're going to do it, but we want to get like gold metallic membership cards with their name on it to make it feel even more exclusive, because then that's talked about. Yeah, that's going to be talked about with their friends, because it's weird and they can't not talk about it, which will lead to more members signing up.
Yeah, it's like you're not creating MLM, but in a way you are, like, taking out these like $50 off, and I got this gold membership. I mean, they don't get anything from it, but you're just creating a beautiful way to get newer business the way that, everybody wants it, through referrals, and making it so they want to talk about it, and making it so it's easy to talk about, and making it so they're helping their friend win and save money by doing it.
Right.
And get a cool gold thing. It's awesome.
Right.
I have a question. Do you have any limitations on the membership? Like, what type of limitations, if any, are there? Like, how many times a month you can get your home cleaned, or are there none?
So because our pricing's higher normally, if we're there every day, we're still profitable. So there isn't really any limitations on that. And there is obviously a minimum, which gives them 2 areas to be cleaned, but it's, our 2-area cleaning membership price is typically more than someone else's, even at the half off. So we're still very profitable at that, but because it's flat rate, it is such a good deal. It's just priced differently.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. We have less than a 1% cancellation ever.
Oh, nice.
Really? What? And do you think why do you think that is?
So we do introduce it as a pilot program, meaning it can change anytime. We don't know if it's going to work, but we're inviting you to this secret exclusive pilot program deal, The rule is you can keep it as long as you want, but you can't, if you cancel it, there's no contract. You can cancel next day if you want, but if you cancel it, you can't get it back because it's exclusive, it's invite only. And because we can't have you get half off, then dip out of it and then come back in 6 months later. But we do not get a lot of cancellations. I mean, we do, almost every month, but out of the number of members we have, it's far less than 1%.
Wow,
Well, that's really
incredible.
smart, because I would not want to cancel. if I couldn't get it back.
Yeah. So right. And the thing is too, is now we have that countable income. So, let's say it just wrecked my average ticket when it does actually increase it, because if someone uses you twice a year and they do, say our whole house instead of the couple rooms they were going to do each time, not only is the ticket bigger, but also you have $120 a year that's added on to 2 tickets. So there's actually an extra $60 on top of each one of those tickets. In addition to that. So now between, really just the members, we're talking about almost 150,000 in guaranteed income, more or less, which is something that small businesses crave just from, memberships, which makes a huge deal when people can count on revenue, and especially in seasonal type businesses.
Yeah. I was going to say that, especially, I love what you did, that you can't get it back. So you have that FOMO element. Well, I got to keep it.
Yes.
But then, anyone who's in seasonal, that would be huge to still have money coming in during the slow season.
Right. Matt has an interesting question.
Right.
So he says he offers 4 main services. Window cleaning, house washing, gutter cleaning, and snow removal. Would you recommend making 4 separate service plans or rolling them all into one?
I would call that all into one. That seems like a home maintenance package. And there's actually I think that would work really well, because you're going to show up for a different thing enough where they can't really price you out, where they're not going to, because now you're coming in with the expertise on multiple services that you need at different times throughout the year. That would really make a pretty big difference in them. And that's something you could charge probably quite a bit rather than a discount on the service and then a slow monthly. I think that could be a high monthly, and it's just the whole thing's included. So that way they are paying X a month, and they just know you're going to show up and do what you're supposed to, and simple. That's going to be hard to price shop too.
The thing I love about that too is it's year round again. So I mean, you might want your windows done in the summer, but in winter, I'm still going to pay for the monthly because I need my snow removed.
Right.
So
the interesting thing too, Matt, is that I think because we're homeowners and we would use these services. These aren't services that I would think of every single day. If I was paying a membership monthly, I would definitely be using this a lot more.
I'd probably put it on my calendar because I would want to make sure, okay, I want to get my gutters cleaned. I want to use what I'm paying for. So it almost make me sell myself and calling you more often.
Very much reminds me of Costco membership, where I'm like, I got to go to Costco. I got to buy enough stuff to get enough of a discount to make up for the membership that I paid for.
Right, exactly.
And eat all the samples.
To justify it.
Right.
Yeah, except for right now. Costco
exactly.
right now.
The only reason I signed up was for lunches.
Yura says, does it work only with carpet or upholstery cleaning as well? Oh, do you do upholstery at all, Nate?
We don't. We used to, just floors now. Just carpet basic. Mostly carpet, but just floor cares right now.
The concept.
And we're not going to do upholstery again.
You might not particularly do that.
Absolutely, it did. We priced upholstery different for a while, and the half off on that works great. I've got friends that are now doing this, that everything's priced differently, whether it's wood, tile, carpet, gutters, windows, but that $10 a month you just get half off, right? And they've got a flat rate price that it's not changing all the time, so it gives people transparency. If you have, let me rephrase that. If you have a dozen sets of prices for your services, depending on what it looks like, how big it is, all that kind of thing, I would recommend creating an average and then bumping it up a little bit, and then having that low monthly cost give you half off, because then that's transparent to the customer. If they don't know what regular price is and they're getting half off, it kind of looks like the numbers are just being fudged, even if it's not,
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I want to be sensitive to your time. I appreciate you coming on here today, Nate. We actually might have to get you back out here again in like 6 months or something.
Sure.
We'll be doing something else. I know. It's like, what are you up to now?
Anytime.
So, but this has been really helpful. Do you have any final comments on it?
Anything that we can share with anyone watching on where they can find more information or resources on maybe places just to understand more maybe what would work best with their industry, because it seems like everyone's in a different industry trying to figure out how they could make a membership model work for their company. And like we had Teddy in here earlier that is a locksmith. I mean, I personally could think of ways to use a locksmith multiple times that I wouldn't think of using if I didn't have a membership. But if I did, I probably would be doing a couple of different things with my locks on a more regular basis, especially thinking of your demographic. Like, do your customers have older children? Like, I've got a teenager. I don't want to give them a key. Do I have to replace a key? Do I want to install something that is more like,
Sure,
electronic, things like that, there's so many things that I think you can apply it to when you think creatively outside of the box, that a lot of home service companies don't realize when it comes to consumers like us we have families, we have homes, and we don't think every day our windows need to be clean. Well, except us, because we work at Jill's. We think about these things all day long.
I need that, and
I need my
that.
carpet cleaned, and I need a new all those things. But
yeah,
if you have any resources that you could share that we can help to share with other people, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I am gonna have to think about that because I struggled to find someone that was doing something similar. So it was mostly trial and error. But I will say, if someone wants to send me a message, they can do that anytime. Another person that would be great for that is William James. He's a carpet cleaner in Idaho, and he does like a very much opposite membership of mine. He does a super high monthly price with a $10 per area cost whenever you want out there. So the monthly is the super high revenue, but when they go out there, it's for $40. But that seems to be working really well for him. His is almost the exact same as mine, just opposite of the monthly versus the cleaning cost. And we both agree that both plans are good. We just have different opinions on why one is better than the other. So if I can answer that question if people want to send me a Facebook message. Same with him; he'd be willing to do that too.
Awesome. I think that's partly what makes it so valuable, and us being so grateful you getting on here today, because I know there isn't a lot of help out there for that. But I know whenever I talk to business owners about this, they always want to figure out that secret sauce. So congrats to you for what you're doing, and thank you so much for being so generous to share just what you've learned. Of course. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. Anytime. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks, Nate. And thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And take care. Have a good day.
You too. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.